Welcome, class, to the Week 1 lecture overview of the course. I'm Dr. Nancy Heilbrenner. My students call me Dr. H, and this will be your guide through the course. We'll review the syllabus, we'll talk about course expectations, classroom policies, etc. So I'm glad that you're here. You can watch this as many times as necessary, and then after this, there's a short quiz on certain aspects of this in the module. You may take the quiz as many times as necessary to get 100. Let's begin. First of all, most of what I'll be showing you comes right out of the syllabus, which is on the course site. You're welcome to have the syllabus in front of you, or you can simply view the screen. Near the beginning of the syllabus, I've posted my office number, my telephone number, my email. I do office hours on demand. I'm very flexible. I'll meet with you on your schedule, mostly through Zoom or phone call, or if you prefer, in person. You've probably seen this statement of academic integrity before. In my class, I take this seriously, and I put most major assignments and many minor assignments through Safe Assign. Cheating and plagiarism will not be tolerated. If you are a student with disability, please register with the Office of Accessibility. If you require an accommodation, the contact information is located here. Did you know that Mercy has free counseling services for students? The contact information is here. This is a totally online class, so it's important that you have a functioning computer. If you experience technical difficulties, our Mercy Help Desk may be contacted using the phone number you see before you. I find it's best to use the phone number, and they're very good at helping through any technical issue that you may be having. If you email me, there's little I can do about it, and I'll just tell you to contact the help desk. So please tuck this number away. It's also on the Mercy website. And if you're having any problems with Blackboard or your computer or Word, please feel free to give them a call. There is a field work component to this course that consists of 10 hours. 6 of those hours must be to observe in a classroom that matches your area of certification. 4 hours is dedicated to planning and writing your papers. You don't actually have to observe 10 hours, but you have to observe 6 hours. And I'll be discussing more about that later. Let's talk about course policies for a bit. First of all, I have a very good, I think, late submission policy, which is you may submit most assignments, with a couple of exceptions, up to a week late. I take a 10% point penalty, but that's better than getting a 0 on the assignment. The exceptions for this are the fieldwork and the extra credit vocabulary project may not be submitted late because they come too late in the semester. Also, discussion posts may not be submitted late because when you submit a discussion post late, it's like talking to an empty classroom. All the students have moved on. When you do submit an assignment, it's important to use APA format, and I put a writing folder on the course site with a sample APA paper and some APA links to help you. You must submit all assignments through the Blackboard course shell. I don't take them by email, and they must be submitted in Word format. That is, you can't submit a PDF or another type of format. This is because I provide extensive feedback to you in the comments of using comments in Word. Most assignments can be revised up to a week after they're graded. You are allowed one revision, and there's a specific way you have to revise. I posted a document in the course materials folder called How to Revise. And if you look at that, it's also in the assignments folder, you can see that when you revise an assignment, I ask you to take your graded assignment, save it to your computer, and don't delete anything. Don't delete the grading rubric, don't delete my comments, just simply redo it and revise it. Highlight your changes in some way, save it again, and resubmit it. It's all in that how to revise. Most students love this policy because they can really look at my feedback and try for a much higher grade. You'll never get a lower grade when you revise, only an increased grade. Students should be aware that the state requires a certain number of hours for each credit of the course. So this is a 3-credit course. You can expect to spend about 3 times 45 hours or 135 hours total on the course, and this is to meet state expectations. You'll spend it in many different activities. You'll be watching videos, you'll be doing discussion posts, you'll be doing other types of assignments. You'll be doing writing, you'll be doing observations. It's an interesting and exciting course, but it is demanding, and so you should start planning to budget that time per week. Here you can see the student learning outcomes. This course is divided into 2 parts. Before the midterm, we'll be studying strategies, teaching strategies, and the theories that they come out of. You'll learn that teaching strategies that we use in the classroom come out of learning theory and motivation theory. After the midterm, we'll switch to some different topics that include classroom management and teaching to diverse students. The required textbook is Robert Slavin's Educational Psychology, Theory and Practice. I've been told that on Amazon the hard copy of this book is quite expensive, $400, so I don't want you to do that. You can rent it. You can get an e-text, which is much cheaper. So try to find the 13th edition. You can get it through the Mercy College bookstore. I doubt they charge $400. So shop around and see what you can find. The course will be graded as you see before you. Modular assignments, that is the mini assignments you have each week, will total of 15% of your grade, or 15 out of 100 course points. The discussion boards will come to 15%. There are a couple of assignments. One is an interview with a psychologist that comes to 20%. The midterm is 25%, and your fieldwork called Theory to Observation is also 25%, for a total of 100%. There is an extra credit vocabulary assignment worth 2%, and that gets added in at the end. You can see the grading scale here at the bottom. I do want you to know that there is no C minus. The minimum you have to get to pass a graduate course is a 70. Anything below that is failing. Let's walk through some of the assignments. I'm not going into any great detail at this time. We'll be going into more detail later in the course, but I just want you to get a sense overall of what assignments there are. Each week on Tuesday, you'll have assignments that are due for what are called the weekly module. Altogether, these assignments add up to 15% of your grade. Unless they're discussion posts, most of these assignments can be revised or they can be turned in up to a week late. Discussion boards make up another 15% of your grade. When you do a discussion, which we'll be doing in a week or two, you need to have a response post to answer some questions, and you need to react to at least two colleagues' response posts. I call this the response post. That's your original response to the questions, and the reaction post to your colleagues. The reaction post should say more than good job. They should what I call extend the conversation. So you might ask a question, you might comment on something your colleague said and add your own thoughts. You might comment on something from the textbook or from the lecture. Any way other than that, you need to say something other than just, I like your post or good job. These discussion boards are graded with a rubric, and you can see them here. The original response post is worth 40%. The two reaction posts are worth 40%. And then 20% is professional communication. Did you spell everything right? Did you cite things when necessary? Did you respond in a professional manner with no negativity towards your colleagues? The interview with a school psychologist or counselor is another major assignment in the course. It's worth 20% of your grade. The draft is due on February 28th, and the final is due on March 14th. Basically, what you need to know about this right now is that you need to find a school psychologist or counselor and interview them. I'll be going through the details of this assignment pretty quickly in the next couple of weeks. But you're going to interview them. It can be on the phone, it can be through Zoom, and find out what it's like to be a school counselor. There are specific topics that you have to cover, and I'll get into that later. For now, you can go ahead and get this lined up. If you don't know someone personally, if you don't know a counselor or a school psychologist, try calling the school or emailing them and just asking politely for a half hour of their time. You may not interview a teacher for this assignment because the duties of a school counselor or psychologist are very different than that of a teacher. The theory midterm is online and it's due April 4th. As I said before, this course is divided into two parts, learning and motivation theory and the strategies. So at the end of part one, there'll be a midterm on theory. Your fieldwork is due May 2nd. As I said before, it's a total of 6 hours of observation and 4 hours of writing. There is a rubric in the syllabus for your fieldwork. You should go ahead and you can get that set up. It should be in a classroom or classrooms that match your certification area. But don't go ahead and do the observation because you don't know enough about the learning theory and the motivation theory, and you don't know enough about the assignment. So I would put off the actual observation until about March or April. There is, as I said before, an optional vocabulary assignment. There is a template in the major assignments folder. Download this template, and each week you'll be given a set of vocabulary. Define the vocabulary words and use them in a sentence, and submit them at the end of the semester, the entire template, by May 9th, and it's worth up to 2 points extra credit on your overall grade, which is a lot. Also in the syllabus, you'll see the course timetable. If you're ever confused about what's due, this is a good place to look. So you can see that Tuesday, January 24th, the topic is Overview of the Course in Educational Psychology, and you could see that weekly Module 1 is due, and that will consist of the assignments that are in the module folder. Specifically, that will consist this week of the quiz, of the introductory discussion post, and also the Journey into Teaching assignment. That's all in Module 1. Let's go into the course site for a bit. So this is your landing page when you come into the course site. If you were to explore the Welcome Start Here, that's kind of the tab that gets you started at the beginning of the semester. It contains my contact information and some other important information. The bulk of where you'll work during the semester is under course material. This is where I post the weekly modules each week. Generally, I have them up probably by Monday, and they're due the following Tuesday. So let's go ahead and click on Module 1, and you can see what's inside that. Each module will start by introducing you to the topic for the module, as well as listing the unit outcomes, what you should be able to do by the end of the module. There's always a timeline in the module. This is another good place to look to see what's due. So you can see this week this module ends on January 24th, and you can see the assignments that are there, the 3 that I just mentioned, as well as how much they're each worth for the module. There's a handy checklist to get you thinking about what you need to get started on. All the resources that you need to complete the learning activities and assignments are in the link Learning Activities and Assignments. So you need to go ahead and click there to see it. Once you do, you can see on the left side sort of a table of contents of what's in the folder. And you can click on that table of contents to go back and forth. These activities are sequenced, so if you're wise, you'll do them in sequence because each activity builds on another activity. So to get started, you should first do the first activity, which is getting started, and then you should move to the other activities, working your way until the end. Now, once you get to the end, you'll see another checklist. This time, you'll notice that it's written in the past tense, so you should have done these things, read this. You should have posted. Please, it's very important. Do you see the big blue arrow where it says mark as done? I'm sorry, I can't read that last part, but please click there to indicate you've read the checklist and you've considered all the activities and you've marked it as done. That's it. Any questions, please feel free to email me. I generally return student emails pretty quickly at nhalbrenner@mercy.edu. By the way, I pulled all of your preferred emails. I like to email students in the course. If you have your Mercy email as your preferred email, that's all I have to contact you. So to make sure that you're checking your Mercy account. If you'd rather I use a different email, please send me that different email and I'll be sure to correct that in my file. Everybody, have a good first week and I'll talk to you next time.